If there's one thing everyone is speaking about today, it's AI. It's going to disrupt every aspect of our professional lives, and some may say it has already started. So, what will be its impact on the future of work, especially how we hire, develop, and retain our most valuable asset, people? And which part of the employee life cycle, from hiring to retirement, is going to see a biggest change? What does it mean for the companies and HR? Hi, everyone. I'm Abhinav, and welcome to the new season of our podcast, Peoplebox AI Talk, where we invite incredible leaders to go deep into the fascinating intersection of talent and AI. Today, I'm delighted to have Suzanne Salzberg on the show. Suzanne comes with over 3 decades of experience in the talent space. She has been the head of talent for big tech companies like Highspot and TextNow, and she's now also a visiting lecturer at the University of Washington. Welcome to the show, Suzanne.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Suzanne, you have been a talent leader for some of the most high-tech companies. Let's start with speaking about the disruption of AI in the talent space. Where do you see its biggest impact in the employee life cycle?
Well, I can focus on the candidate's life cycle in the talent acquisition, context. I really think the biggest impact is going to become honestly from the minute they read the job description, because I think I see AI really helping to create complete, unbiased, easy to understand job descriptions. And it'll also help hiring managers because one of the biggest pain points for talent teams is waiting for that job description. The next big impact would be how fast a candidate hears back in the process, whether it means they
Mhm.
applied and they get a response, or if they're in first, second, third, fourth interviews getting a response. Because I talk to a lot of candidates every day, and one of the biggest grievances from candidates is that they're being ghosted. And then I think the other major impact will be is how recruiting softwares are actually using AI on their back end and taking some of that load off of talent teams.
That's actually so well said. You have been in this industry for over 3 decades. Where do you believe that recruitment is most broken today and craving for AI to fix?
Well, I feel like it's changed, but I feel like right now where it is most broken is because recruiting teams have become so much leaner. The
Sure.
hiring is slowed. So full teams got laid off, or there's one recruiter left. And so those small teams have time management is a huge problem because now they're
Hmm.
doing 4 jobs. They're the recruiting coordinator, they're the travel coordinator, they're looking at resumes, they're doing the interviews. And so it's almost impossible for them to go through 1,000 resumes that they're getting in a day because they're also doing. I was talking to a previous recruiter that I worked with, and she said that she was, a CMO was coming in, took her 8 hours to schedule their on site, with everybody's schedules. And I'm like, and so that's 8 hours that she can't be recruiting. And so because AI can
Wow.
help with a lot of those administrative tasks, it's great at doing travel planning, scheduling, screening those initial resumes. It, like we said before, it can really help with JDs. And so I think that that is a huge place where AI can help. I think the other place that it's broken is when you're hiring for technical roles and engineers and they have to take a coding test,
Yeah.
right? And that coding test is only as good as the person writing it.
Who's
And so many times
absolutely.
from a talent perspective, someone will get a question wrong and it's not even something that they're measuring for that this person's going to do. And so I think if AI can write some amazing coding tests or tests that engineers or QA employees can do, like that will be a huge piece that is a big pain point for recruiting.
Do you think that recruiters will be replaced because of
Well,
AI?
I think if you talk to anybody in talent acquisition, they laugh, thinking like, "Good luck." There's no because I mean, honestly, so many times recruitment and talent acquisition is siloed over here, and we just live in our own world, and nobody really knows what we do, right? And so like they don't, and it's probably bad on us for saying all the work that we do and what we do, but I just don't ever see, and anybody that does it knows that they should not be replaced, right? But there is a fear because the people that don't know really what we do say, oh, we can replace the talent team with AI, right? So, it's that.
So you really have had 1,000 resume in a day?
Oh, 100%. If you just go on LinkedIn and look at some jobs, it literally will say 1,000 people have applied to this job for
Oh
one
my
job,
God.
right? So if you think that every job pretty much gets 500 to 1,000 resumes, so and if you have 20 recs open, 20 job openings, yeah, you're getting 1,000 a day for sure.
Oh my God. And how do you manage that? Like I don't think it's humanly possible to go through them one by one. And it's
What I
destined to have a
what I do is I help people navigate the job market and the hiring system. And when the first thing I help them with is their resume. And so I teach them that a recruiter probably is going to spend 10 to 20 seconds on your resume. And that
wow.
is no lie. So that first half of your resume better be good, because fortunately the applicant tracking systems have this thing, it's called quick review, and you can go into quick review and you're literally just tapping, and that's why people are frustrated that the recruiters aren't getting back to them. But I said, if you knew what a recruiter was doing right now, all
Going
of these
through.
things, like, that's like, don't blame the recruiter, like, it's the situation that's happening, so it's real, it is a real thing.
I had a very interesting talk. I was at a conference where there are a lot of job boards, and they were talking about what are the things that they are doing to attract candidates. And they say we are giving them the ability to not only create their resume based on AI, we are giving them the capability to actually apply for say 35 different jobs with 35 different resume, all altered on the basis of the job description
Yep.
without doing anything.
Right.
And we were just laughing that it's not that AI is going to fight humans, or, candidates are going to fight AI. It's AI fighting AI.
Right.
AI from the recruiter side is actually fighting AI on the candidate. And good luck to the Boolean searches and the keyword searches, because now everyone's resume will be built based on the job description. How
Right.
do you see that word? What are the skills that both the recruiters as well as the candidate will now need to do a better matching?
I always teach candidates that the job description is the final before the exam. So I will look at their resume and then I'll say, look at this job description. And when applicant tracking systems or LinkedIn or any of those companies are matching you to the Boolean searches, right?
Mhm.
They're literally taking keywords from that job description that recruiter put in. And if that's not on your resume, guess what? You're not going to be one of the top 30 people that show. And so you can do it without AI. I mean, it's harder, but like, I encourage people to have a couple different resumes. I mean, sure, if you want to make them, you can tell an AI resume. It's
Yeah.
still at the point where it's a little bit of a turn off, because, like, is it real? Have you searched like what this company's looking for? And so there's a trust factor. There's a trust factor because AI can make this beautiful resume that literally matches the job description. Then you have to question, do I trust this person? Is this data real? We're at the point now where we can tell if it's an AI resume. And when I've been to conferences and you have people that, AI still misspells things. You can always tell there's certain little things. It's like when you get like a scam email, there's certain little things you can tell that make it a scam. And so I would encourage people still to do it the old fashioned way, but use that job description as your final, like, and, focus on what you've done to match the job description.
And, when I'm speaking with a lot of, talent heads or, experts in the talent acquisition space, one of the big fear that I hear is about the AI bias. What do you think both the companies as well as the, AI tools can do to mitigate this bias in the AI driven,
Yeah,
world?
I totally agree that bias can cause AI to make decisions that are, systematically unfair to particular groups of people. It can discriminate based on race, biological sex, national,
Yeah.
everything. And so, because humans are choosing the data that the algorithms use, and even if, like, these humans are making a conscious effort to eliminate bias, it can still be baked into the data that they select, right? And so
Hmm.
you can do extensive testing, and diverse teams can act as effective, safeguards. But even with these measures in place, I mean, you've heard the old saying, garbage in, garbage out,
Garbage
right?
out.
And so, and so bias can still enter that machine learning process.
Yeah.
And AI systems can then automate and perpetuate biased models going forward. And then you're in big trouble, right? And so, one of the ways that you can help to mitigate the problem, and I think this is where companies really need to focus on, is that businesses should look to engage their data science teams, all the other functions, like very early on in their organization, as early as possible. And so then they can assure that the models are accurately reflecting the decision making process, and that the data is just weighed accurately. But engaging those people after the fact is not a smart decision. So just getting everybody in early and preventing that bias early is what's going to help, because if we don't, then it's just going to keep perpetuating that bad bias going forward.
Yeah, and just about those checks, there are a lot of laws coming up about using AI in recruitment. There is a recent law in Europe. New York recently passed a law to build more checks when it comes to recruitment.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? Do you think these laws and compliances, will they help the technology, or will they become a blocker in the technological advancement?
It's probably a mix of both. I mean, it's going to be a learning process. I think it's good that there are laws. I think there
Mm,
definitely needs to be regulation in AI. Um, and it's going to be a lot of trial and error, honestly. I mean, things are going to happen, things are going to break, and I hope they just fail fast and fix them
mm,
fast. But I definitely think there should be some regulations. It's just like when GDPR became a huge thing. Other countries besides ours were like, you have to delete our data within 3 months, and you have to put on there, like, do you want us to delete your data? So yes, it was a blocker, but it was also a good thing, right? And so, anytime something new is, that's what happens.
absolutely. And I want to talk also about the data. Data has been one of the most important thing when it comes to, making recruitment more effective, making it better. The more the enrichment you can do of the candidate profile, the more, diverse data you can do that. In this world of AI, what role do you play the data will take in making better talent decision, and how can AI further put a fuel to that?
Data plays a huge role in making, better talent decisions. I mean, I talked to you about, when CEOs want data, right? So where does this data come from? It used to be like, oh, just my information, right? And so data can play a huge role in making better hiring decisions. We talked about the analytics in the process, huge, right? So just to give you an example, if you build a great dashboard, you can tell in every part of the process how long it's taking, how many diverse underrepresented groups are in the pipeline. It's a lot of pipeline analytics that are really important, because if you want to do great diversity hiring, then it has to be intentional. And it starts at the beginning of the pipeline. It doesn't just happen at the end, right? And so let's say you have a hiring manager that you notice underrepresented groups are just never
Mm,
getting through. Like, what, then that's
mm,
when you talk with HR and you say, hey, this hiring manager's never letting through a person from an
yeah.
underrepresented group, right? And so it helps you to make better decisions. It also really helps with one of the biggest mistakes I think people are making is they're thinking, oh, we need 30 QA engineers.
Yeah.
But AI can help you build these models based on your
Mm,
revenue goals and all these things. And then you can reverse engineer based on
yeah.
these models. How many people should we actually be hiring?
Higher. Yeah.
And what skills should they actually be? Here's our problem of company X. What skills should the people we hire actually possess? The other piece that's huge is keeping up with compensation. So
Yeah.
companies like Radford, I don't know if you're familiar with Radford, but companies like Radford that most people use to like look at what we should be paying people, they have 35,000 companies that feed input into their software. They do it once every 6 months, right? And so like say in 2022, what was happening was because salaries were going so high so fast in the US, companies started going outside of the US to hire, right?
Yeah.
Canada, South America, that was happening a lot. And the salaries were half, which isn't great, but companies were like, let's go to Canada because, but so what was happening, the salaries in Canada and other countries were going up so fast because every company got
Mhm.
this great idea. And I would come back and say, hey, this senior engineer is now making this much. And they're like, what? Like, there's no way, right? There's people just didn't believe you. And so if AI could, take that data and analyze it and quickly and give me like actual data that I can say, no, look here, that would be amazing. And then because you wouldn't lose candidates, based on the FANG companies were just offering
Yeah.
50 grand more per person just to get them, and so the smaller companies were like, what do we do? Like, so, and then the employees that had brought on before that from those countries were now like making way less. It was
Yeah.
crazy. I've never seen anything like it in all my years. So I think the data on compensation can really help create better models.
I think it's so interesting you said that how AI or data can actually help align companies' business objectives to their hiring goals. And this is
Yep.
one of the big problems that we see that in majority of the companies, this whole talent acquisition and talent management are stay in silos and completely disconnected. I would love to hear your thoughts on how can companies better align both the talent acquisition and talent management to just build a more cohesive ecosystem.
This is a big problem that's happening right now, in the talent ecosystem, and it's looming very large right now. And because of the crazy market that's been right now, employees and candidates are feeling that, going back 3 to 5 years, it was, we're people first. We care about people. We're people before profit. Like you heard all of these things of like people are our number one goal, and which is great. But now it's like it's a bottom line and all we care is about, and which is, as a CEO, it's important, right? It's important that you consider the bottom line. But now, so what's happening is employees are not feeling like companies are loyal to them. So guess what? We're not going to be loyal to you.
Do
So
you?
when Suzanne reaches out as a recruiter, I'm getting people way easier to jump ship from a
Hmm.
company because they think, well, but we could have a layoff next month because we've already had three. So I'm just going to leave, right? The other thing that's happening is candidates are seeing this, or they're just been burned because they've been laid off 3 times in the last 2 years. So they're interviewing, they're getting job offers, and then they're continuing to interview.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I've had in the past probably 6 months where candidates literally called the day before and said, oh, I decided to take another job because they gave me 20,000 more dollars. So nobody's loyal. So everybody's pretty much just like, sorry, not sorry, like you haven't been, helping me at all. Companies need to be, especially HR, needs to do a better job in hiring better leaders that
Yeah.
are understanding hiring the right people and budget forecasting. So we're trying to mitigate all of this. And we just really need to have better succession planning. And it's just instead of everything always being on fire and oh, the first solution is to do a layoff, right? And so companies have to really get back to valuing the people, not just saying they are, but actually valuing the people. I feel like that's really bad right now.
We have spoken about hiring, Suzanne, but what about post-hiring? Do you think that AI will make a difference in providing an overall employee experience as well, especially say from the day one, right from their onboarding?
Yeah, yes, for sure. I think it will. I also think that it really helps people. I mean, I talk to people that companies every day that's like, oh, I had to make this PowerPoint presentation and AI helped me make these beautiful slides. Like that used to take someone a long time to do,
Yeah.
right? So it helps again, now that companies are leaner, it's helping take a lot of those administrative tasks, even off of onboarding and all of those things.
Yeah.
As in recruiting, I don't think AI should replace onboarding. I think you should have real people doing people's onboarding because,
Hmm.
again, it's the first impression from these companies.
Yeah.
But I think, and this is a really interesting aspect that I think can help a ton, is if you ask any employee at a tech company, especially right now, is they're always having to fill out these engagement surveys. How are
Yeah.
we doing? What can we do better? Like on, and people are very honest because a lot of times they're anonymous, right? So what happens is the company fills it out. HR is saying, "Oh, make sure you get your engagement survey filled out." And then they have an all hands meeting and they report the findings and people can do, anonymous questions. And the biggest pet peeve of employees is they take the time to fill these out. They give you the feedback and then they never hear anything about what's going to be done to fix what we just told you was wrong. And so I feel like because it takes HR teams a long time to compile this data, look at where the problems are. And I think AI can do that really fast. And then also maybe recommend some solutions to helping, right? And so then HR is going to be the
Absolutely.
one that executes them, but they can get that stuff done faster
Yeah.
because HR has so many things on their plate. Again, it just takes that administrative stuff off. So I think it helps everybody's employee experience.
Absolutely. No, being an employee engagement platform, I can 100%, relate to what you're saying. It's not about the effort to take a survey. It is not about an effort to go and collect the feedback. It's about what to do with that.
Yeah.
And like they say that, a feedback taken and not done anything is actually worse than no feedback taken
100%.
because HR has so many different things to do and so many
Right.
fire to douse. If you just tell them that this is what your number one thing to increase your ENPS or your retention, they would absolutely grab that. And I think that's a great opportunity for AI. And my last question, we're speaking about it today, but I would love to hear your thoughts on that one thing, that biggest impact that you believe that AI will make in the talent life cycle in the next 10 years from now.
You're going to see a lot of trial and error, which I said. Well, I think you're going to see a lot of trial and error, which worse. But I think the analytics and seeing where the process is working or not working, I think it's really going to help make data-driven decisions,
Hmm.
as well as taking the time off the recruiting team on parsing those resumes that we get so many resumes. I would say a lot of it depends on the industry. For an example,
Hmm.
I have a friend who's a radiologist, and he literally said to me, there will not be radiologists. AI is going to
Oh.
completely take over just the radiologists that are reading the scans, not the ones that are
Mhm.
doing, surgery. He said they can do it faster, they don't make mistakes, and people can get that information way faster, right? So like you're
Mhm.
sitting there, you just got to scan, you have to wait for the results. Painful,
Yeah.
right? You can literally get it in 10 seconds. And so
Wow.
he said, he literally told me, he goes, my job is not going to exist. So a lot of it depends on the industry, right? So that is one
Mhm.
job that yes, AI can replace that job, right? And
Oh my
so
God.
yeah, and I think that what's happening right now is we're between generations, right? And so even Gen Z, like they've had human interaction and AI right now. But like say a Gen A, like after Gen Z, they're fine with no human interaction. Right? They're like, I don't want to talk to people because they can't have a
Yeah.
conversation, right? I don't want to talk to people. I'm fine if an avatar does my interview. So I'm not saying 10 years from now what's going to happen, but I think right now there's too many people that were in this flux between the generations where that's why it's not going to happen. But hey, I am not naive enough to say that, like, if you have future generations that have no problem never talking to a human, it might not, replace it. That's my biggest fear. I would be very sad if that happened, but some of it's
Yeah.
probably inevitable.
I want to say one thing to your radiologist friend that I am talking to everybody. Like I'm hearing this from a programmer, I'm hearing from an SDR, I'm hearing from a copywriter, from a marketer, that our job will be replaced by AI. And to be honest with you, I don't think so. I think we humans have an incredible capability to adapt and learn and build new skills that an AI can't do. I'm sure there's or both of us to see that what the next 10 years we do. But I'm very optimistic that it's going to be something good
Exactly.
and not very negative. But
Well,
Suzanne, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me. I just loved our conversation. And this industry is moving with such a high speed. I'm sure when we speak again, we'll have a different, AI landscape and new challenges. And I'm sure we both and, all our audience will be fully prepared for that. Have a wonderful day and thank you so much for your time.
I enjoyed it. Have a great day. Bye.
Thank you.